people think that life is all about pleasure and about being happy. Who told you that life was about happiness? Who lied to you? Life isn't about happiness. Life is about life, about experiencing life. You're supposed to enjoy and learn and train through suffering the same way that you do from pleasure, because now you realize that suffering is part of life. It's undeniably a part of life.
The better you get at understanding humans, the more that you're going to see loneliness, shame, and suffering. It's every human being. So the way that I deal with loneliness, conceal shame, and kind of anesthetize myself from suffering equals human behavior.
There's consequences that you pay to constantly seeking comfort and avoiding discomfort and avoiding hard work. And those consequences are you're never going to feel self-realized, you're never going to feel like you accomplished anything, you're never going to have this feeling of understanding that difficulty and struggle and the ability to push through that is a muscle. And you develop that muscle by doing it. And once you do, you develop a lot of self-satisfaction and you develop peace of mind and you understand that you can overcome obstacles. If you don't have to overcome obstacles, you never know whether or not you can.
Go do something that's hard. Go try and accomplish something that's hard. You may win, you may lose, you may succeed, you may fail. I'll tell you what, you'll be better. If you avoid those things that are hard, if you don't accept that challenge, if you don't step up and step into that cold water, and you sit on your couch and eat Doritos, I can tell you this is not a good move. This is not a good move. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just get up. Move towards that challenge, whatever that challenge is. Move towards that challenge and go attack it. And you may be successful and you may not be successful, but you will be better.
You can have what you want in 5 years, but there's 2 conditions. You have to know what it is and you have to aim at it. Figure out what you want. Write it down. Figure out what you could do to start moving towards that. Okay. Do that with your family relationships. Do that with your friendships. Do that with your career. Do that with your education. Think about your misuse of alcohol and drugs and other things that might drag you down. Develop a vision. And you have to do that in dialogue with yourself, right? It's like, if I could have what I wanted, what would satisfy me? And you might think, well, I could never get that. And I could say, well, maybe not, but I'll tell you one thing, man. You can move towards it. And I know that everyone who knows the underlying neuroscience knows this. Almost all the pleasure is in the moving toward.
Everybody works out on the good days, but on the days when you feel stressed and tired, on the days when the weather's bad and it's kind of inconvenient, on the days when you don't really feel like it, can you show up, even if it's in a small way? One of my little mantras that I try to keep in mind is reduce the scope, but stick to the schedule. So the normal scope might be, I write for 30 minutes. And then you look up at the clock and you're like, oh, I only have 15. And sometimes what happens in your head is you're like, oh, I don't have enough time to write today. Or you're like, oh, I was planning to work out for 60 minutes. And you look up and you're like, time got away from me. I only have 20 minutes now. I don't have time to go to the gym. It's easy to talk yourself out of it, but reduce the scope, but stick to the schedule. It's like, well, I only got 20 minutes instead of 60. So I'll just get in there and do a couple sets of squats and that's it. And I've had so many workouts that have been like that, where you're like almost, it's easy to be kind of disappointed you weren't able to do the whole thing that you wanted to do, but you didn't throw up a 0. And if you don't throw up a 0, you maintain the habit. And if you maintain the habit, all you need is time. And so the bad days are more important than the good days in that sense. You need to figure out, how do you show up even if when it's not optimal?
If you close your eyes and you begin to think about doing something, you would rehearse it in your mind. Yeah. Turns out that the act of mentally rehearsing something when you're truly present, your brain does not know the difference between what's going on out there and what's going on in here. In fact, your brain will begin to look like you've been doing it for the last 5 days and you've never run the course. So the next question is, does that change the body? Take a group of men, have them do one-handed curls in their mind, and bring an emotional component like stronger, harder, more intense, 1 hour a day for 2 weeks. At the end of 2 weeks, 13.5 increase in muscle strength. Wow. Never lifted a weight. And all of a sudden, they began to act differently. They began to think differently, of course. They began to feel differently. They were no longer feeling pain. They're actually liking themselves, right?
The man who never fell, has no glory. The man who fell and got back up, that's where his glory is.
There's a verse in the Bible that says, when I became a man, I put away childish things. You can't become the best version of yourself unless you're willing to neglect who you are today. The bad habits, the bad friendships, the bad relationships, the bad ideas, the bad mindset. Because if you want to become a millionaire, if you want to become a person that's successful, if you want to develop a better physique, it will require sacrifice. And if you want to get to the next level, it'll cost you. There is a price to success. It hurts.
We think of love as a warm feeling and a sense of caring. Now, almost all parents have that for their children. Only very traumatized parents, who themselves were totally shut down in childhood, lack that oceanic sense of love for their children. But that sense of love, that feeling, is not sufficient, because it's not what the parent feels that matters, it's what the child receives. If the parent loves the child, but is themselves too traumatized to actually see the child and to attune to the child, then the love doesn't get through. The sense of love gets through, and that's good, but to be truly loved, you have to be seen. And a lot of parents have great difficulty actually seeing their kids for who they are, without their own anxieties and expectations and their own emotional reactions and so on. So that love has to get through. For that love to really get through, the parent has to be able to attune to the child. And which is to say, the parent gets the child's internal experience and knows how to respond to it. And when parents are stressed, as many of them are in this society, they have great difficulty being attuned to the child. So attunement here is the key.
Sorry to break it to you, but it's impossible for someone who destroys your mental health to be the love of your life. Obsessing over someone isn't love, it's fear disguised as affection. Unhealthy love often feels exciting, dramatic, and profound, but hurts us in the long run. Healthy love often feels dull, peaceful, and repetitive, but it heals us in the long run.
Here's some advice. Don't speak just to give people a piece of your mind. Speak because you want to contribute to their well-being. And if you do that, you'll know the difference between speaking truth in and of itself and speaking truth in love, because love always considers the outcome.
The real source of your suffering, listen to me now, is the focus on self. You only suffer when you focus on yourself. No, I'm suffering because my children are not doing well in school and I know it's going to cost them their future. No. If it was just your children not doing well in school, you would focus on how to help them. The stress is you think you failed them. It's about you. When you focus on contributing to others, your suffering will disappear. The moment you're grateful for anything in your life, your suffering disappears. That